The climate crisis is deepening. And to avert it, our lifestyles have to change. Manchester has a history of great innovation. At the heart of that sits the Industrial Revolution. Canalways, industrious nature and factory life took the world by storm and put Manchester on the map. But it wasn't without cost. Factories billowed thick fumes of fossil fuels, and the once proud buildings stood covered in black soot, coated in the pollution churned out by the city's mills. Not only this, but we also took advantage of the natural resources outside the city. Peat. Using peat to heat homes for the ever-growing population. And then for fertilising our gardens, we decimated the peatlands, contributing to the crisis. By 2038, the way we use the earth will be different, and by 2024, all sales of peat for garden use will be banned. Today, we discover the use of peat and the significant role it plays in our lives. We'll learn how peat extraction is having a devastating impact and how crucial it is to restore and protect peatlands.
Peat is a kind of highly absorbent organic matter. A bit like plants have been laid down to form coal over time. It can be used for energy production, so that might be people cooking in their homes or heating in fires in order to heat their houses. But then also we found that it's really good as a kind of organic matter to put into composts and soils to help plants grow.
The state of the peatlands across Lancashire, Manchester and North Merseyside is devastated. They've been absolutely devastated over the last 100, 200 years. We're down to about 2% of the peat we had. The consequences of peat extraction basically mean that it's not sucking in carbon, it's not storing that carbon, and it's actually literally pumping out greenhouse gases. We've got problems with smaller fires because it's too dry. Because it's so dry, it becomes quite hard. So when it rains, we get problems with flooding. Then people will lose income because areas that aren't managed properly mean that people's jobs are at risk as well.
The amazing thing about peatlands is how much they can trap carbon from the air.
Peat is the superhero of the natural world. They're basically helping to save the planet, but they're also important for biodiversity because there are some quite rare types of animals and plants that actually live only on peatlands. As long as it's properly maintained and it's in the right condition, it will contain carbon for thousands and thousands of years, millennia. And it captures much more carbon, probably 3 times as much carbon as forests across the world.
There are kind of 2 ways that people are trying to help. One is to reduce the amount of peat that we're using. The other thing is to look at the peatlands around Manchester and to try and take them back to a kind of healthier state.
The 2% of peat that's left won't be destroyed because we've stopped peat extraction. That peat should remain and be restored by the Wildlife Trust because there's so little of the peat left, but it's ours now to actually protect.
For the people of Greater Manchester, in your day-to-day, you might not be thinking too much about the peatlands that are surrounding us, but then quietly these peatlands are also there in the background, really doing some hard work for us as citizens of Manchester, helping to deal with excess rainwater. They are taking carbon dioxide out of the air, and so even though they are quietly going on being sort of plant and animal habitats in the background, they are absolutely critical for the health of the city.
If we care for and restore the peatlands to their natural glory, we can create a more sustainable world and a brighter future for ourselves and the wildlife that lives alongside us.